All right, I'd like to welcome Minnesota to the press conference. As I stated earlier, we'll have an opening statement from Coach when she is ready, and then we'll take questions for the student athletes. Just as a reminder, please raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone to you. Please state your name and affiliation before you ask your question. Coach, we'll start with an opening statement when you are ready.
Well, first of all, we have so much respect for Ole Miss and how they attack and what they do, and I thought they played really hard and played well. And it was a kind of an epic type of a game, and certainly just really appreciative of our fans who came out. I just thought it was deafening. It was deafening in warm-ups. When the Rouser played, you couldn't hear anything. And then during the course of the game in the fourth quarter, there was a shot clock expiration, and there may have been an extra second that went off the clock, it felt like, at that point in time, because nobody could hear because the fans were so loud. And so just a really, really great atmosphere for college women's basketball, and really thankful for our fan base for bringing that type of energy, and that certainly helped us because we were able to get stops in the fourth quarter when we needed them. Overall, just really proud of our young ladies. I think we needed to show a lot of resilience. I was told we were down 5 with about 3 minutes to play, and made big shots, but really got some big stops as well. And so these young ladies have put their hearts and souls on the line and are building something that's really, really special. And so really proud of them. I'm really proud of these two that are up here. The word I use for them is a legacy. They're leaving a legacy in Minnesota women's basketball right now, and it's an opportunity to keep playing, but we're just really, really thankful to all of our young ladies for the type of dedication and sacrifices that they make to have opportunities in big games like today.
Thank you, Coach. We will now take questions for the student athletes. Again, raise your hand. We'll bring a microphone to you. We'll start with Chip Scoggins in the front row. A mic is on the way.
Chip Scoggins, Star Tribune. Amaya, did that unfold the way the last sequence there, exactly how you guys drew it up in the huddle there?
Yeah, I mean, as long as somebody made a shot, it was fine.
Dane Mizutani, St. Paul Pioneer Press, for both of you, what was going through your head when the ball went through the hoop?
Well, we practice it almost every day before every game, so it's nothing really new. I mean, she hits those shots every day in practice over our scout guys. So honestly, when she took that shot, took her 2 dribbles into her pull-up, everyone, I think, knew that it was in. But yeah, we just had to regroup and play some defense, but I'm just so proud of her.
Pat Donnelly, Associated Press. Maya, is that the kind of thing that you grew up dreaming about, the kind of shot that you practiced in your backyard 100 times?
Yeah, I think any basketball player, when you're shooting on your own, you're like, okay, 3, 2, 1, you throw it up there, see what happens, and it was real life today.
Charles Holman, Minnesota spokesman, recorded. This is for Amaya. You wanted to come to Minnesota. You wanted to play here. You stayed here when things were changed. This game has to be something that will last in your memory in terms of just what you did tonight.
Yeah, I think this whole season, honestly, this whole season is a perfect way to wrap up the 4 years here. We had a lot of ups and downs, but we all stuck together, and the fans stuck with us. I mean, they filled it out today when we needed them. And yeah, today will be, it's bittersweet. I'll never play at the barn ever again, but we're leaving it, or I'm leaving it with a win. We're leaving it with a win, and we're about to go to the Sweet 16, so what better way?
Yeah, Mara, along those lines, I mean, you hit the big 3. Sophie has the layup. Maya takes the charge and hits the game winner. Minnesota kids doing something for the home state team. What does that mean, just that, you guys grew up here to do this for your program?
It's just the pride we have for our state, and honestly, just not wanting to let that crowd down. I mean, they came out, they showed out for us, like Amaya said, when we really needed them, and we love this place. That's why we stayed. We stuck together, and I'm just so happy that we could do what we just did in front of that crowd. Yeah, and just going to the Sweet 16, it doesn't seem real, and we have a lot of work to do, but we're just really thankful that we could end this one on a win.
Hi there, Coach Leah from Insight News. So tell me, this is for Maya and Mara, was there a point in that last, I would say, 40 seconds where you were like, we got this? Maya first.
Yeah, that whole game, we always believed in each other. We believed we were going to win, and we stuck together. And I think that's really a big part of how it ended.
Yeah, we all ground each other. There's times where I started pressing kind of towards the end of the game, and they all just were like, we need you, like you're in this. And I think that just speaks so highly of them as my teammates, and just how everyone has a voice on this team and can really, speak up when it's needed. And she was the most vocal one, and she doesn't even have a voice. And so I'm just so proud of her, too, as a leader, and just this whole group. Everyone made an impact on that game.
Thank you.
Go back up to the front row to our left, back to Chip Scoggins. We'll bring that microphone over. And then I do see we have a question on Zoom, so after Chip, we can go to Zoom.
Yeah, Maya, just the charge you took on Cotty there. Did you know she was going to try to be physical there going into for that layup? Did you kind of play that against her?
Yeah, I mean, she got a ton of buckets on me, on us, and it was because she was, like, powering through, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to try and fall, see what happens. And it worked out.
We'll go to Zoom. Please state your name and affiliation.
This is Chantel Jennings with The Athletic. Question for both Amaya and Mara. I don't even know exactly what years you guys were born, so I don't know if you guys have any memories from the 03 to 05 run when they went to the Sweet 16 3 seasons in a row. But I'm curious what you guys know about that run, if you guys do have memories or what you've been told about that run. Obviously, Lindsay recruited you guys, and she was a big part of that 03 04 run. I'm just curious what you guys remember or know.
I was 1 year old.
I was going to say, yeah. Just freshly born. No. We've heard of it. I mean, we came under Coach Way. We have so much respect for her. She's still rooting us on every single day. We both get texts from her all the time. And she's paved the way for us, honestly. And when we came here, we wanted to do what she had done and bring the hype back to Minnesota. And I think we're doing that. And a lot of it does go to her.
We'll go back up to Chip in the front row.
Mari, it seemed like you had to work so hard just to get open, use screens, and they were being physical with you. The three you hit to make it 63 all. Take me through that. Was that unfold? Does that play the way you guys drew it up there? Or?
Not really. I don't know. I just knew I wanted to make a play and do whatever it took. I mean, I didn't want to lose that game, and so just had to focus and stick at that shot even when I was tired. And Soph the whole time was setting such great screens for us. Our posts did an amazing job of getting us open. And so, yeah, I just had to focus and stick it.
Ahmad Hicks, Fox 9. Amaya, we just left the locker room, and all the girls down there are saying, ladies, should I say, you were their favorite player. When Coach drew up that shot, they said they all had confidence in you. What does it mean, your final game at Williams Arena, to have that confidence from your team and go out and end your career like that?
Yeah, I think it just means a lot. Like, we came here, and the first season was not how we planned it, and every year we did a little something, but there was a lot of rough times, and I'm just, like, super proud that we all stuck to it, and the fans, because look at what happened. And I think it just goes to show, like, if you really want to do something, like, find people who want to do it with you and stick to it, and you can do it. And shout out my teammates, because this is the best year of basketball I've ever played.
Nadine, go ahead.
Nadine Babu from gopherhole.com. First of all, besides the winning, why was it the best year of basketball you've ever played?
I think just everything we've been through, and I think this year we really kind of were like, all right, we're going to do it. Like, we're not going to just sit and talk, and we're actually going to get it done. And we've been blessed with, like, joy. A ton of joy, and you can see that when we play and practice, and I think that's our superpower. Like, that's what gets us through. And there's really, like, my best friends. Like, we spend a ton of time with each other because we have to, but also when we don't have to, we're still hanging out, and, like, we genuinely like each other, and I think that's what makes it the best year.
For both of you two, could you have drawn up those last plays any better in your driveway? I'm sure you've practiced that a million times growing up.
Well, shout out coaching staff for putting us in those positions. Everything we ran down the line, we executed, and we got something out of it. But they teach us all the time to just play basketball and make basketball decisions. And so to answer your question, if it was perfectly drawn up that way, no. Sometimes you just have to improv and see what happens. But we have so many great players with high IQ that can just get it done when we need it to.
We'll take a few more questions for the student athletes. Go ahead.
Thank you. Coach Lee, again, Insight News. Amaya, this is for you. So in those final moments, what is the thing that you feel like you've learned the most about yourself?
That's a good question.
You're welcome.
I would say even just through this whole experience, one thing that I've really learned about myself this year is I value the little moments in the relationships, and I think everybody here does because we're still here. Like, we all could have left, went somewhere, and probably won quicker than we did here, but we stayed with each other because we like each other. And yeah, I value the relationships and the little moments, like going on the bus, or yesterday we had recovery till like 8:30 and we didn't want to be there, but that's a moment I'm going to look back and I'm going to remember and I'm going to miss.
Mara, It seems like the moment is never too big for you. You hit big shots, you turn around, you're yelling into the crowd. What does it mean to you to finally play in front of a packed crowd like you guys did this weekend?
Oh my gosh, I love it, and I just feed off of it so much. Like, I'm just waiting to make a shot just so I can turn to the crowd and get them going. I love it, and it just is something I'm always going to remember. I mean, these past 2 years I was on the sideline. It's what I dreamt of doing, and you just got to stay focused, stay resilient, and just know that your time is coming.
Mara, I know you guys came in together, but what has it been like for you to watch Amaya grow into the leader that she's become for the program?
Well, I think she's always led by example, but especially this year, just her voice and finding it. And I said it in another presser, but like when Amaya talks, we listen because it doesn't happen all the time, but when she does, it's urgent and it's like, guys, we need to get this done. And tonight, I think she just realizing it was her last game at the barn and the last time this team was going to play in front of a crowd like that. And just to take advantage of it, and we weren't going to lose. And honestly, I owe it all to her and just her leadership, just the whole game, honestly.
We'll take one more question for the student athletes, and then we'll go to Coach.
Ashley Moore, Care 11. This game was obviously physical. Both of you were on the floor several times in this game. We saw how physical it was, but how was that on your body in the moment, especially in such a rocking gym?
Tiring, honestly. But no, our staff does a really good job at like making us strong and putting us through like I feel like we're always on a grind. Any college basketball player would say the same. But yeah, it was very tiring for sure.
I think too, I mean, it gets down to the point where you don't really think about that anymore. You just want to win the game, so you're willing to do whatever it takes, taking charges down the line, just putting your body out there and just having a will to win. So I mean, ultimately, we'll probably feel it tomorrow, but for right now, it feels good.
Mara, Amaya, thank you very much. You can head back to the locker room. We will now go ahead and take questions for Coach.
Coach Ahmad Hicks, Fox 9, when you got here 3 years ago, this was your vision, to return this team back to the national stage, to make a deep run in the tournament. How good does it feel right now in this journey that you're on?
Well, it certainly is something that's really, really special, and it's something that to happen the way that it did with the fans, to be able to host, to be able to have the fan base that we did both games, and then for the games to be really exciting all the way down the stretch. I think it's just, there's so much of it that these young ladies are going to take away from this and remember for the rest of their lives, and it's something that's really, really special. And so we're just really, really thankful to have the opportunity to, one, be here, and two, continue playing.
Ashley Moore, Care 11. Coach, you said yesterday there's no stopping Cody, just slowing her down. Early on, y'all had her in foul trouble. At what point did it click in your brain, like, attack her, let's get her out of this game?
Well, and when we tried, we didn't have as much success doing that as we wanted to. I thought there were, later in the game, there were 2 or 3 opportunities where a late shot clock scenario, she got the ball to the left elbow and drove by and scored it as the shot clock was expiring. And then there was one on the right block. And so, again, our players really couldn't hear us, but we were trying to tell them, you've got to go double her. You've got to go make somebody else take a shot, because she is someone who can score one-on-one at a really, really high level, regardless. And what we did say at the timeout is you can't give ground. You've got to stop. You've got to hold your ground, and you've got to take a charge, and somebody else has to help you. Now, we were planning on it not necessarily being right at the rim, kind of earlier in the lane, but certainly Amaya did a tremendous job of taking the last charge.
Dawn, Chip Scoggins, Star Tribune, you talk about toughness being a pillar. Did you see that in those final minutes with just the execution they had to have in those got-to-have-it moments? They almost flawlessly offensively what you drew up.
Right. Well, a good thing, it's for us, toughness, I think, has a connotation of getting on the floor, taking charges, rebounding, and we did those things at a high level to finish the game. But for us, toughness is also doing little things well, sticking to screen, making an entry pass inside to Sophie late in the game, making something happen out of a broken play, recognizing, get an offensive rebound and you're swarmed by them, you got to kick it out. All those things are kind of in that toughness category for us. And, this group of young ladies really played with that discipline, which is also part of our toughness. So that was really fun to see.
Nadine Babu, gopherhole.com. Obviously, you came in and have done an absolutely phenomenal job, but can you speak to what Lindsay Whalen has meant to this program and the team and you?
Well, Lindsay's someone who, I've watched play a lot and certainly have just a tremendous amount of respect. And so when she actually was coaching at Minnesota and I was coaching at South Dakota, we'd sit together during, recruiting periods and talk quite a bit and, compete against each other in some close scrimmage type of things. And, I just think she's someone who I have a lot of respect for, someone who I consider a friend, someone who I think is, has built this program, and did it as a player, and certainly has done it as a coach, and certainly we're very thankful for what she's done. And to have her in the house today, I think she was telling me she was coming, so I think that she was here. Sorry, was she here? Yeah, so that's really, really important to us.
Go ahead.
Andrew Dukowitz, zone coverage. First, congrats, Coach.
Thank you.
In the locker room just now, from Tori to Sophie, everyone was kind of crediting the bench,
right,
end of the bench especially, of being in their ears, giving them encouragement. Just how special is it to have such a bond, even between like the seniors and the freshmen in this program?
Oh, it means everything. I really do believe that, and I thought what was great in the end of the second quarter, well, it wasn't great that we were all in foul trouble, but what was great is that the young ladies who got in the game at the end of that second quarter handled the pressure, took care of the ball, made good decisions, played really, really hard. And so maybe their minutes weren't long, but they did a great job. And, that was something. And what was neat at halftime is telling our young ladies, we've got to be able to handle the pressure because they're going to turn it up. And we felt like the crew that kind of finished out that second quarter did a really good job of doing that for us. And to hear the starters, either who were in the game or who were on the bench, celebrate their teammates, for that period of time was something that was really special. But that's what makes this group unique. I think makes it really fun is that they really do love each other. I think they really do play with joy. I remember looking at our players in the fourth quarter when they were on defense, and it was after either we scored or it was a dead ball scenario, and they were smiling. And I think we were still down, but it was just the joy that they're playing with. I felt like they kind of exuded confidence. We talk about in our little kids camp, smile and love it, but that was also our message today. Like you have to love this because this is what you want to play in. This is exactly what you want the environment that you want to be in. And you have to be willing to do little things really, really well. And we didn't do that, I didn't think, in the third quarter. They refused ball screens. We let players get to their strong hands. We kind of lost a little bit of our discipline, and so I think that that group did a really good job. I looked at when we were down 9 and there was a timeout. I'm like, well, what do you guys think? And they're like, well, we just got to get some stops. I'm like, I agree with you. They scored at a 75% clip or something like that. I'm like, okay, Coach, you don't have to give us the stats. We know. So, but they're really locked in, and so it's just fun to have that unity among all 14 players.
So, Coach Leah, Insight News. So, you literally just led into my question because I was about to ask you about that fourth quarter, about midway through, y'all were down like double digits, and you were noticeably more energized. There was something about that moment that was just like, what is really going on? So, can you please just say a little more about that, please?
Right. I think it's. We have a couple phrases, things that we say, and one of the things that we say before the game is we'll never ever give in. That is a mantra for us, and that's that we're in that moment. We could down 9, could kind of fold at that point in time, but our goal is to find a way. That's a pillar in our program, and so, but I do think this. I think it's a coach can say those things. That's great. It can be great on the bulletin board. It can be a great text message. It can be a great hype video. Really, ultimately, the players. But since we've been here for 3 years, our goal was to have this be a player-led program. And it takes time because how do players lead when they don't even know what the expectations are, what it's supposed to look like, those type of things. So there's a learning curve within that. But this is truly a player-led program, We were actually having a discussion, maybe you'd call it an argument in the fourth quarter about our ball screen coverage. And so it was kind of interesting because but they understand the game at a high level and they want to be successful and they are leading the charge. And so it's really, really special when they get rewarded for doing little things really well.
Dane Mizutani, St. Paul Pioneer Press. When would you say Amaya took that jump from leading by example to being willing to speak up and have people listen?
Yeah, I would say it was probably earlier in this season, kind of maybe midway through the season is when she really became vocal. I think from day one, in meeting with this group, and the returners have been here for 3 years, I think she's always been someone that the players have said to me they see as a leader. And there's being a leader by example and doing things well, but there's also that you need that inspiration, you need that voice, you need that confidence, you need that, the accountability, and that's a good word. It's holding your teammates accountable, holding yourself accountable. And so I thought she kind of made that decision, or started doing that probably midway through the year, and she's just continuing to play at a higher and higher level all the time.
Obviously, we'll focus on her shot, Amaya's shot, but how much did taking that charge really changed the thing there?
Well, having Cody McMahon not on the court changes the game, and we've been in foul. We were in foul trouble. She was in foul trouble, and so yes, it's a game-changing play. It really was. And Tori took one earlier in the game, and so those are big plays, and because we weren't really slowing her down. She scored at an 83% clip against us. She was 5 for 6. So, that was our best defense, was not having her on the court, very honestly. And it wasn't that we were trying to necessarily do that. It just kind of happened.
Coach Mara said when she saw Amaya rise up on the baseline, the whole team knew it was going in. Did you know, and what was going through your head when it did?
Well, 3.5 seconds. So I'll take you through the sequence. I don't know how much time did they have on their possession. Was it like 14 seconds, something along those lines? And we had one foul to give. We were at 3 fouls. And so we were, at that point in time, if we got beat, we were going to use a foul, right? But we weren't just going to use a foul to use a foul, and because there still was enough time that they could take it out of bounds. And now if you happen to foul them, now they're shooting free throws. And we didn't really want G in that position, and we debated as a coaching staff. G is a really good defender, but then she was one of 4 fouls, and she didn't foul, and they scored it. So it was like, well, that didn't really work out the way that if ifs and buts, like we could have changed that, we would have changed that. We would have done something a little bit different at that point in time, change a matchup, put her in a different spot, whatever the case was. Then 3.5 seconds, we call a timeout, and we really do in every one of our shoot-arounds. And our shoot-around was early this morning. It was early, and I think we found a way for them to hopefully sleep until 6 o'clock in the morning and then get started. And that's kind of early on game day, with getting up, getting taped, getting moving, and then having breakfast, getting over here, doing those kind of things. But in our shoot-arounds, we practice some end-of-the-game situations. We have a lead, we're behind, or short shot clock scenario. And Ole Miss is a team that, they're tough to prepare for in a one-day prep. Based upon how they defend, based upon how they attack, based upon baseline out of bounds defense that they play, and all those situations. But we felt it was really important to come back again this morning and do that and go through some of those end of game scenarios. And that is, when we run that, we ran it today, and there were 2 options, and we ran it twice, and that was option number 1 and option number 2. I'm not going to tell you what that is, because maybe we'll have to use that at another time, but there are 2 primary options within that are quick hitters. So 3.5 seconds isn't a lot of time, but certainly she made the play, and that's kind of a Pat and Amaya Battle baseline pull-up jumper. That's exactly what she's really, really good at.
We'll take a few more for Coach. Go ahead, and then we'll go over to the right.
Coach, can you just walk us through your emotions after the game, walking around, firing up the crowd, and then what it means to have the support you guys did, not just for the Gophers program, but women's basketball in Minnesota?
Yeah, I don't know that there were actually thoughts going through. Now, we missed an assignment on the last possession with 0.8 seconds left, so very thankful that shot didn't go in. We weren't supposed to switch on that. Anyway, we missed an assignment on that, and thankfully that didn't go through, because that would have been really anticlimactic when we all celebrated thinking the game was over at that point in time. But then, again, the barn is a really special place. It's an incredible place to play, because you've got the raised floor, there's so much history there, but also it's loud. It's really, really, really loud. I don't want to say how many years I've been coaching, but it's been quite a few years, and as a player, as a coach, I've never been in an environment that was that loud, ever. It is something that is just, your players have to make plays because they can't hear each other. We can talk about communicating all we want, but it gives you energy. And so to have our young ladies perform at a really high level at crunch time in front of that crowd, to have our young ladies on the bench going crazy, enjoying that, encouraging their teammates, everybody has a role, everybody has an impact, every moment matters. So you never know what one thing a player says to another player is the difference in that player's confidence. You don't know that. Right, that player may know it, but the rest of us aren't maybe ever going to know, but we know that there's an impact in all those things. There's an impact of the fans that come, the support that they give. And so it really was surreal. It was really pretty awesome. And to have this group of young ladies really come and stay with this and build this into exactly what they wanted to build this into, and have that be, for Amaya, her last game in the barn. That's the stuff you can't make this stuff up. Like, that's movie line stuff at that point in time. And so those are the things that were going through my mind, and certainly have a lot of family and friends who were in town that I haven't seen for about 2 days. As a matter of fact, I stayed away from them because we were busy at things going on, and so, but to be able to celebrate with them afterwards was certainly a kind of a fun moment. And have my parents here, certainly was kind of a fun moment at that point in time too. So those are, key takeaways. I think both of our children watched it. Our daughter is on the road getting ready to play in the Elite Eight. So she got a text message from her. I haven't seen him, guessing that our son has as well. But to have my husband, be a part of that celebration, and, a lot of family and friends is really something that's special on top of all of it. But this is a great environment. I think we had a lot of recruits here, I think. But you can't tell. We can't actually give them tickets, do any of those type of things, but getting text messages from a lot of them prior to, and so to have them see this and see what Minnesota women's basketball is becoming on a national stage is something it's something we believed can happen here, and something that is in the process of happening right now. So it is really, really special.
Coach?
And I think everyone's eardrums, Bryn Senden actually said her eardrums popped. I would not doubt that. It was deafening. I'm telling you, I told the announcers today that during the game against Green Bay, the first round game, that it was probably the loudest atmosphere. If you turn the TV on and you're watching all these women's games, I don't know. If there's one out there, then that's great. I'm not trying to take anything away from anyone else, but I'm telling you, that is the loudest I've ever heard an environment that you're playing in. So that was really, really special.
Terrific. Thank you, Coach. We appreciate your time.